This is how your heart is holding you back from love and money. I grew up in poverty in one of the roughest council estates in my hometown in Bridgend in South Wales. Domestic violence was all around me. It was normal for where I grew up. I didn't really know what safety, love or worthiness felt like. It's not something I ever felt or had through my childhood. Unsurprisingly, this led to a lot of abusive, toxic and controlling relationships. One of those relationships, I was actually almost killed. And this really was a significant turning point for me. I knew that I had to break the cycle of what I'd grown up around to be able to have a better life for myself. And so I went on a quest, really, to understand myself, to understand others, to understand the world that I'd grown up in. Why did I feel so unlovable, so unworthy inside? And this led me actually to studying in psychology. Whereas I understood a lot of what I'd gone through that, and I also studied criminology too. This led to a 10-year career working in homelessness services, working in social services, helping some of the most wounded people in society to overcome their traumas and have a better life for themselves and their families. Despite all of this expertise, all of this knowledge that I had, I still hadn't actually been able to heal myself. I really struggled with holding on to money, even though I had 3 jobs at one point. I had what I call a relationship curse. I couldn't get past 18 months in any relationship. After another failed relationship, I met somebody who I knew was my soulmate, and I really wanted this relationship to work. I was a single mum at that point in my journey. I was on minimum wage and working tax credits whilst I was building my business. And when we were getting to that almost 18-month part in our relationship, I started to worry. I have this deep belief that I cannot get past 18 months in any relationship. I started to do really deep subconscious healing work around healing the wounds of my heart that was stopping me from being able to have loving relationships in my life. And through that journey, I come to realize that I had what I call a relational blueprint. This relational blueprint that had formed in my childhood from all of the things I'd witnessed, all the things I'd experienced, that made me believe that I'm not worthy or deserving or capable of having good, loving relationships in my life. I didn't know what love really was. And so I set out to heal this within me. Something really interesting happened. I healed my heart to open up to be able to receive more love. And the same time I did that, my business that had been plateaued at around 3 to 4K months for a very long time, for several years, suddenly started to explode in revenue. It went up to 7K months, 10K months, 15K months. Within the space of 18 months, it went from 3K months to 100K months. It was insane. And all of the women that I knew that also had their own businesses, women that I'd networked with or that followed me on social media, they saw how fast my business just exploded. And they said, "What did you do? What was it that created that massive growth?" Because I've been plateaued for a very long time. I made that connection between healing your heart to open up to love and how that was very connected also to opening up to money. I did break that 18-month relationship curse too. I'm still with my partner 8 years later. We have a child together, we have a home together. We married in a spiritual ceremony on Necker Island. I learned a lot about how this relational blueprint that we form in our childhood doesn't just affect our personal relationships. It doesn't just affect relationships with people. It impacts our relationship with things like money too. And so when I opened my heart to love, what I really was doing was opening my heart to receiving. And that affected everything, not just receiving love, but receiving money too. So you might have heard of something called attachment patterns. I like to refer to it as a relational blueprint, and your relational blueprint develops in the first 7 years of your life. Really, it's the pattern that is created from the early childhood relationships that you have. So it's usually with people like your caregivers, your main caregivers, that hugely contribute to what this relational blueprint is that you have inside you. So for some people, they have this relational blueprint that love equals pain. So they end up in painful relationships romantically in their adult years. Some have the blueprint that love is abuse, and that is what leads to these patterns of abusive relationships. What I do and what I discovered actually worked for me on my journey was to help heal the relationships that have contributed to that relational blueprint inside you, to be able to change it to something that better serves you in your life today. This is not going back and looking at the things you've been through to heal. It's actually healing from the people that hurt you, the people that caused the wounds to your heart, the people that caused this relational blueprint to be an unhealthy one within you, and re-imprint it to something that is going to support you to have better relationships, better relational dynamics in your life today. And this doesn't just impact your relationships with people, it impacts everything. Your relationship with food, your relationship with yourself, of course, your relationship with money. And that's why when you heal this, not only does your relational blueprint with people change, your relationship with money changes far more than any money mindset work that you might have done in the past.